Imagine, just for a moment, that you had the power to dream any life you wanted. Tonight, as you lay down to sleep, you could choose any experience, adventure, love, power, mystery, anything at all. And you could control every detail. At first, you'd indulge yourself completely. You'd experience endless pleasure, wealth beyond imagination, and the thrill of being the ruler of empires. But after a few nights, something strange would happen. You would get bored. You'd start craving a challenge. You'd begin to wonder, what if I didn't control everything? What if I let go and allowed life to surprise me? And so slowly you would design a dream where things weren't predictable, where there was struggle, loss, and even fear, because only through the unknown does life feel truly alive. And eventually, after countless lifetimes, do you know what you would dream? You would dream the life you are living right now. Yes, this life with all its chaos, heartbreak, and uncertainty. Because deep down, you wanted the real thing, the adventure where you forgot it was a dream. You wanted the thrill of rediscovering yourself, of losing and finding love, of falling and rising again. And here you are, right in the middle of it, living the most extraordinary dream of all, the one where you believe it's real. But here's the question. What happens when you wake up inside the dream? You see, the problem is not life itself, it's our resistance to it. We try to control everything, to hold on too tightly, fearing the unknown. But life is like a dance, and the only way to truly experience it is to let go, to move with the rhythm, to embrace every moment as it is. So the next time you feel lost, remember, this is the dream you chose. Not to suffer, but to experience. Not to control, but to flow. And when you stop resisting, when you stop clinging, something magical happens. Life stops feeling like a struggle and starts feeling like a game, a grand, beautiful, unpredictable game. So I ask you now, are you ready to wake up and truly live? Life is not something happening to you, it is something happening through you. Like a dream, you are both the creator and the experiencer, moving through an unfolding story that feels as real as the ground beneath your feet. But just like in a dream, the moment you become aware that you are dreaming, everything shifts. You are no longer a prisoner of circumstance, you are the dreamer, shaping the experience from within. Yet most people live as if they are separate from the great unfolding of life, believing themselves to be isolated individuals trapped in an unpredictable world. They fight against the current, attempting to control the uncontrollable, resisting what is already happening. But imagine a wave in the ocean, thinking it is separate from the sea. It might fear crashing onto the shore, believing that this is the end, forgetting that it was never apart from the ocean in the first place. The wave is not separate, it is the ocean, moving in a particular form for a moment before returning to its source. You too are like that wave, an expression of the universe itself, momentarily taking shape as the person you call yourself. You were never separate, never alone, never at war with life. You are life. And just like a dream, everything you experience, every joy, every sorrow, every triumph, and every loss, is all part of this vast interconnected play of existence. But as long as you believe yourself to be merely a small, fragile piece in a chaotic world, you will suffer. The moment you wake up to the truth that you are the dreamer as well as the dream, life ceases to be a struggle. It becomes a dance, a game, a beautiful and boundless expression of what has always been. We move through life believing we are in control, convinced that with enough effort, we can shape the world exactly as we desire. We create plans, set goals, and cling to the illusion that if we just try hard enough, everything will unfold according to our wishes. But sooner or later, life reminds us otherwise. A sudden loss, an unexpected change, a moment of chaos. These remind us that control is nothing more than a comforting illusion, like a dream where we believe we are directing the story, only to wake up and realize we were never in charge at all. Yet we resist this truth. We tighten our grip, trying to force life into submission, as if we could tame the vast ocean with our bare hands. But life is not something to be controlled. It is something to be experienced. The more we try to impose our will on it, the more we suffer. We become anxious when things don't go as planned, afraid of the unknown, frustrated by change. But what if the unknown is not something to be feared? What if it is the very essence of what makes life worth living? Consider this. If you could predict every moment of your existence, would you truly be alive? If you knew exactly how every day would unfold, if nothing ever surprised you, challenged you, or forced you to grow, life would become unbearably dull. It is uncertainty that gives life its depth, its adventure, its meaning. The greatest joys often emerge from the unexpected, from the moments that catch us off guard and force us to surrender. And when we finally let go of control, we do not fall, we float. We realize that we were never separate from life's flow, only resisting it. Life is a grand performance, a cosmic theater in which you are both the actor and the audience. Imagine that before you were born, you had the power to script your entire existence. You could choose every moment, every twist, every experience. At first, you would likely craft a life of endless pleasure, no pain, no struggle, only joy and excitement. But soon you would begin to crave something more. You would realize that without contrast, pleasure becomes meaningless, that without obstacles, triumph holds no weight. So you would start adding challenges, small ones at first, just to make things interesting, perhaps a moment of uncertainty, a puzzle to solve, a fleeting hardship that makes the victories sweeter. But as time goes on, you would seek even deeper experiences. You would introduce love, knowing it comes with the risk of heartbreak. You would allow loss, understanding that it makes life precious. You would create moments of doubt, struggle, and even suffering, because within them lies the potential for transformation. Without forgetting, you cannot remember. Without losing yourself, you cannot awaken. And eventually, after crafting countless lifetimes, you would choose the ultimate adventure. You would choose to forget that you designed it at all. You would enter the dream so deeply that it feels utterly real. You would lose yourself in the role, in the ups and downs, and the breathtaking uncertainty of it all. And that is precisely where you are right now, immersed in the grand performance, playing the part you chose without even remembering that you chose it. But the beauty of a play is that at any moment you can wake up within it. You can step back and remember that you are not just the character, you are the dreamer, the storyteller, the one who makes it all possible. We spend our lives clinging to the idea of who we think we are. We build identities, beliefs, and stories around ourselves, convinced that if we lose them, we will disappear. This is why we fear change, why we resist uncertainty. Because deep down, we are terrified of waking up and realizing that the self we have so carefully constructed is not as solid as we believe. But what if this fear is not something to run from, but something to explore? What if losing yourself is the very key to discovering who you truly are? Imagine standing at the edge of a vast ocean, hesitant to step in, afraid of being swallowed by something greater than yourself. But you are the ocean. The boundaries you believe define you are illusions, no more real than the lines drawn on a map to separate countries. You were never a fixed point, never a separate being struggling against the universe. You were always part of the whole, changing, flowing, unfolding like a wave that rises and falls but is never apart from the sea. The reason we fear waking up is that we don't know what will remain if we let go of our masks, our roles, our need to control what is left. But this fear is an illusion, because what remains is something far greater than the identity we cling to. What remains is boundless, free, limitless. It is the part of you that does not resist life but moves with it, that does not fear change but welcomes it, that does not need certainty because it is life itself. And when you surrender to that, the fear disappears, not because the unknown vanishes, but because you realize you are the unknown. We spend so much of our lives running from failure, from uncertainty, from the possibility of loss. We build walls around ourselves, convinced that if we can just plan enough, prepare enough, control enough, we can avoid pain. But in doing so, we also avoid life itself. The secret we often refuse to see is that fear is not the enemy, it is the doorway. It is the invitation to step into the unknown, where all true experience begins. Think of a child standing at the edge of a pool, hesitating before jumping in. The water looks deep, the temperature uncertain, but the moment they leap, something miraculous happens. The fear that once seemed overwhelming vanishes in an instant, replaced by exhilaration, by movement, by the realization that the water is not something to fear, it is something to play in. Life is the same. We stand on the edges of our own experiences, trapped in hesitation, afraid of what lies beyond our comfort. But the moment we surrender, the moment we step into the unknown, we realize that life was never against us. It was always inviting us in. What if, instead of resisting, we embraced life fully? What if, instead of seeing challenges as threats, we saw them as part of the adventure? Every moment of uncertainty is a reminder that you are alive, that you are part of something vast and ever-changing. And when you stop trying to control the waves and start riding them instead, fear transforms into freedom. You begin to understand that life is not about avoiding the fall, it is about learning to dance with gravity. And the more you trust the unknown, the more you realized it was never your enemy. It was always the place where you were meant to wake up. If life is a dream, then the purpose is not to reach the end, but to enjoy the unfolding. Yet so many people treat life as if it were a task to be completed, a mountain to conquer, or a puzzle to solve. They chase achievements, possessions, and security, always believing that the next milestone will bring lasting happiness. But what happens when they get there? The satisfaction is fleeting, and soon they are off chasing the next thing, trapped in an endless loop of seeking. They forget that the point was never to arrive, it was to experience. Imagine watching a movie where the hero achieves everything they want in the first 5 minutes. No challenges, no surprises, no growth. It would be unbearable to watch. The magic of a story is in its journey, the uncertainty, the struggles, the unexpected turns. Life is no different. The more you try to rush to some final destination, the more you miss the beauty of what is happening right now. The laughter of a friend, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the simple joy of breathing. These are the moments that make life extraordinary. When you let go of the illusion that happiness is somewhere in the future, you wake up to the joy that is already here. Life stops feeling like a problem to be solved and starts feeling like a dance, one without a fixed rhythm, one that invites you to move freely. The more you surrender to the music, the more you realize that nothing was ever missing. The joy was never in the destination. It was in the journey itself, in the unfolding mystery of this vast, beautiful dream we call existence. And so, if life is a dream, the question is not whether you can control it, but whether you can wake up within it. Can you see that you are not merely a spectator, but the very essence of the unfolding story? Can you embrace the unknown, not as something to fear, but as the very fabric of adventure? The truth is, you were never lost. You were never separate. You were never meant to control the waves. You were meant to ride them. The joy of life is not in grasping, but in letting go. Not in reaching a destination, but in savoring every step along the way. The laughter, the heartbreak, the uncertainty, the wonder, it is all part of the grand design. The dream you once chose to forget so you could experience the thrill of remembering. So here you are, standing in the midst of it all, and the only thing left to ask yourself is this: now that you know you are dreaming, what will you do?